Hey guys, welcome back to Cities Skylines. And so yeah, this episode we do a lot more work on kind of the zoning and just basically the layout of the city. So obviously last episode we got quite a bit done, and this episode we did a heck of a lot. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I'm doing here, I'm actually working on the cargo hub that we started last episode. Basically, just last episode, we just put down the rails and whatnot at the stations. So now what I'm working on is how cars are going to get on and off the highway into the cargo hub. And I think what I'm kind of planning on in the end, I want it to be kind of a cargo hub where you can only enter it from the highway, and the only way you can get into the city from it is just by, going through the highway, basically. And so yeah, I feel like that's a good way to do it, and I feel like it'll help balance traffic out a lot, but I guess I'll never really know until, we really get it all done and whatnot. But yeah, as you can see, I'm right here, I'm just trying to do the ramps coming off the highway into it, and it was actually a pretty big challenge because those walls that are going around the highway are they're just kind of glitchy whenever you try to really work with roads around them. Obviously they're really not meant to have roads around them, so that's kind of the reason, but what you gonna do, we that's what we do here. We mod and make things do what they're not supposed to do, essentially. But yeah, I just have these two off ramps just kind of merge into each other onto one big central highway that goes into the cargo hub itself, and I feel like in the end it works pretty well. But obviously there's not much traffic going through it yet, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it actually goes in the end. I also tried to make everything look super smooth and balanced as far as the road layouts are concerned. Nothing's too off looking with the roads. It's nothing too unrealistic. But yeah, as you can see here, right now I'm just kind of going through and looking at all the landmarks and all the buildings that I have from the workshop, so that I can, place them around the city and just kind of make it look like a real city. And I have quite a few things that I can do, but I'm trying not to do any buildings that are too tall, because I feel like they just won't fit. This city's not a massive city, it's kind of like a medium-sized city, so, I don't want to put anything in that's too big. But as you can see, I already have a few buildings in, and it's looking pretty good so far. Some of these buildings I didn't even know I had downloaded, so I was pretty, happy whenever I found them. And also, as you can tell, in some places, I have some of the buildings kind of clipping over the roads. Luckily, for the most part, I'm pretty sure there was no, visual problems, no trees on top of the road or anything like that. Basically, the reason why I decide to clip them into the road in some places, it just looks better. It can conform to the layout whenever you use anarchy and stuff like that. So, it works really well. And I'm not really sure how far out I want the taller buildings to go. So for now, I just kind of confine them to this downtown area. But I'm thinking that it's going to work pretty well. I'm not sure though. And now I'm getting started working on some of the parks of the area. So I want there to be a lot of parks, because I know in real life in major cities, there's at least small little tiny parks everywhere, in between two buildings, or just on the side of the street. I know in larger cities you find them fairly often. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and as you can see here, I'm just kind of trying to make some kind of interesting pattern with the bike trails. And as I mentioned last episode, just adding more detail in general to the city is something that I'm very much striving for this time around. So as you can see, I'm putting a lot of small props in, small little details, using a lot of different, more realistic types of trees and whatnot, a lot more rocks. And overall, I think it's going to help a lot in the end. I think everything's just going to look a lot more unified, a lot more realistic, and just a lot more interesting to look at in general. And sometimes it's kind of hard to do a lot of detailing because there are a lot of props in the game. And obviously, you have to find some kind of balance between not having so many props that, you know, your game lags and stuff, but you also, you know, want it to look good. So, I don't know, it's kind of a very fine line. But I'm working on it, and there's a lot of props in the game to look through, so, you know, over time I'll figure out what works best and what looks good from, you know, in what ways and whatnot, but right now, you know, still learning experience. And this is a good example of what I was talking about, just small little parks that are kind of just, you know, in between two buildings or just on the side of the street, and lots of little small areas, you know, trying not to waste basically any space for, you know, whatever it might be, a building, parking, or even a park. And in the end, I was actually much happier about how all of this turned out, like all these little parks and placement of the trees and whatnot. You know, I was afraid of overdoing it or whatever, but I think it turned out really well balanced. And even it, you know, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think it looks okay. I definitely think it looks fairly decent. I'm also trying to use lots of variation in the different colors of the trees and the bushes and whatnot, and you know, just to divvy it up a bit. Right here you can see me working on one of the parking lots. I have quite a few of these scattered throughout the city, because, you know, obviously, you know, in a city you need parking. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good, and there's lots of props that can help you out with it, and just like the bases that the trees are in. I forget what they're called, but that was like trending in the workshop a week ago or so, and it really helps out. It has a lot of implementations that can be done, especially around parking and whatnot. And something I've been hoping for, and I'm not too sure if it's possible, but I would like to experiment a bit with it. I'm not sure if you can make people actually use those parking spaces as parking spaces. I know one of the props, like whenever you're creating an asset in the asset editor, you can do that, but I can't really figure out if that's actually plausible in game itself. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to play around with that a bit. I'm not too sure. Right here, I'm just kind of trying to work on this roundabout. I'm trying to make it, the one we had before got kind of messed up from just placing so many roads on it. It kind of got deformed. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but roundabouts in City Skylines, if you place too many roads on them, they'll kind of start to get deformed, which is really annoying, so I kind of had to redo it. And I tried to do it a bit better this time, so I tried to use the trick I talked about last episode where you can have two like one-way roads coming off of one road, and I think it looks great, and it also, from what I can tell so far, it's actually very functional, which is great. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. And of course, then also I'm adding in just some pedestrian paths like inside the roundabout. Probably gonna turn it into some kind of park or something, or I might find a cool statue to place in the middle of it. That might be pretty cool if I can find one. And right here, I'm just building a little neighborhood, little side neighborhood next to the highway. And as you can tell, I used like this wall around it, separating it from the highway. and it's kind of acting as a noise barrier. At least that's kind of how I planned it. And I think the neighborhood actually looks very nice. It's kind of close to downtown, so I'm not really sure how realistic it is to have it in that placement, but I think it looks really good, and I don't know, I think it fits in well. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's going to be about it for this part of the video. So let's go ahead and get into the live gameplay. Alright, so the first thing I kind of want to do, I want to finish out zoning this area of the city. As you can tell, we've got it pretty much, you know, complete, this whole little section here in between this main avenue and the highway. And yeah, I just kind of want to get this little area done and detail it up with you guys, so you guys can kind of get an idea of the process that I've been going through with the rest of this area. And yeah, so the first thing I want to do, I do definitely, just like how this area is pretty dense, but then we have this little runoff of a nice suburb, I kind of want to do the same thing here in some small areas. It's a little bit harder to do here, but definitely possible, I believe. So we're just going to fill that in with those kind of houses. And same with this one. This one is actually a lot more difficult. And we also might, I think actually it would be pretty nice if there was a good amount of smaller homes all along here. I think it will just look really nice, like, you know, from the highway, for example, you know. It feels, you know, it just feels like a very good spot to start transitioning away, especially from the more high-dense residential areas and whatnot. So I guess we can just fill this in. These I'm not too sure about. Maybe fill one of those in a little bit. You and maybe that, and then that and that maybe. I'm not too sure about this. We'll just kind of have to see what it looks like once it's developing. Alright, let's just unpause and see if they develop a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm just going to kind of go ahead and fill in a lot of this with high density. High density. Let's go with that. Yeah, that's the name of it. Actually might have it kind of separated here. Actually kind of like the idea of that, maybe having like a park in between this kind of area. That might be a smart idea. I mean, realistically, you know, areas like this don't just run up right against each other in real life either. It's not really how it works usually. And I'm sure in some cases, in some areas it is, but usually that's not how it is. So let's see here. Do the same thing. Well, maybe not there, or maybe not all the way down. And then here's kind of a little tough spot because it's kind of a corner. This actually has the opportunity to be a very nice large park here, though, so I do want to just kind of keep that intact. And let's just fill that in. Alright, and that's good. And that should fill out quite nicely. I think also, oh, you know what? This is actually something I really wanted to do. I think I'm going to replace a lot of the housing along here, along our big tram stop thing. I just want I want them to be businesses. I'm not really sure though, like, do I do high density? Because then they'll, you know, more than likely develop into some pretty big buildings. So I don't know if I necessarily want that. Let's go low density. We don't have any low density in the city right now anyways, so it's probably a good thing. Maybe, sort of, you know. You would think after playing this game for so long, I would have a pretty good clutch on, you know, how everything works, but man, am I inexperienced with how this game works. all this game's like deep inner core kind of stuff. I don't know. I just don't know much about it. Alright, unpause. Should all start develop. Also, I don't know if I actually mentioned, but yeah, I actually did up this whole, like, I did create this last episode, but I didn't actually, you know, put trams in yet. So yeah, I ran a tram line throughout the city, and it goes all the way up that main avenue, and then I have a crossover here for now. Kind of temporary, not temporary. I do like the placement of it, but I'm worried it'll create traffic right here with this intersection being very close, so I don't know. But yeah, then it follows this avenue all the way down here. It keeps going, and then right here's the turnaround point for it right now. But I did kind of bring it along the edge of this area here and connect it back up to this avenue, so it can expand if we decide to do so. But right now it's actually working pretty well. I don't know. Trams in use. I don't know if we can necessarily see how many people are using it easily. Oh wait, yeah we can, can't we? We can see like traffic, transport maybe, tram, 60 per week, and 1 tourist per week. That's actually pretty good, because I mean, I don't even think it's been a full week in game yet, or at least, has it? I'm not sure. But yeah, alright, so what I want to do now is, oh, those didn't really place or fill out yet, did it? Oh wait, we have, you know what we can do actually, and this is actually a very good opportunity to do so, so that these buildings won't develop into things we don't really want them to. We have plenty of assets here, thanks to the RICO, or the ploppable RICO mod, which is a friggin' fantastic mod, by the way. Can't explain that enough, but it provides us with so many good buildings to place here. I'm actually gonna turn the game audio down a little bit. Tell me if you guys think it's actually fine, but from what I feel like, maybe it's a little too loud. Maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. I would definitely say that's a possibility as well. All right. So, first thing, yeah, Walmart's a little too big, for this. What are you? Okay, this is a Toyota dealership. So I definitely feel like this is sort of a nice, kind of, I don't know, mall type area, promenade kind of thing, I guess you could say almost. I don't know. I think it does work though. Ford dealership. Let's go with something fancy. I think I have like an Audi dealership. That's another Toyota one. Gotta have something fancy, right? Toys R Us. Yes, perfect. Oh, a Target. Actually, you know what? That looks really good. I'm actually gonna go with that. Place that right there. That's a really nice model. I don't even remember getting that, but that is a really good asset. Then we have a FedEx office. We'd also use some gas stations throughout the city. I have neglected to do so. And Best Buy. Oh, and then our FedEx office fits like perfect with that. Let's see here. Anything else? Ooh, Party City. Oh, this is a nice little mall here, isn't it? Working out just perfect. And Toys R Us. Oh man, we got so many other pieces too. Oh, what is this? Oh, no way. Hold on. No. Look at that. That's... I don't think I want to do it there though. I feel like that's a very open kind of space. Oh, you know what? Screw it. We gotta take risks, don't we? Don't we? You know what? Yeah, I don't even care. That's awesome. The fact that I have a piece that fits like that and is that shape means I have to place it. That's just how it works. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Bed Bath and Beyond. Ooh, bit of lag. Staples. Ooh, a Subway. Gotta have a Subway. Gotta eat. Ooh, GameStop. GameStop. Of course we gotta have GameStop. And there's Target. And Bed Bath & Beyond. And then Party City. I think we might have missed one. But that's awesome, though. I didn't know... I really don't remember getting all these pieces that fit perfectly together like that. So the fact that I found that is great. I assume that's a set that somebody made in the workshop, obviously. But I don't remember getting that, so I'm very pleased with my past self, I guess. Alright, and then I'm gonna put a Toys R Us. Yeah, that totally fits together too with it, doesn't it? That is pretty dang cool, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, and then Party City, wherever that's at. Nice end piece. That is awesome. I don't remember getting that set of assets, but oh my god, am I happy about my life decisions. Alright, and then over on this side, oh, that is super large. All of those are super large. Let's see here. Where can we place items such as these large ones? Obviously not right here, I guess. Let's see. Can we fit this right here? Obviously these buildings have to move. Does it overlap on the road? Yeah, it does. Little misfortunate. Little bit misfortunate. Not gonna lie. Oh, here's a nice little place called Pit Stop. I guess it's a car place, car repair kind of shop. And then whatever this is. What is this thing? Audi? Oh, this is Audi. This is our Audi car dealership. Oh, I didn't even realize. I'm a genius. Alright. That actually could fit though. Let's try that. Alright, so I'm gonna put this Audi dealership here as well. Looks pretty cool actually. I like it. Alright, get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm gonna move this. I guess I can't move it, can I? I'm actually gonna put this little car repair shop wherever it was at. Which one was that again? Maybe it was this one. Dang it, I was hoping to find it before I said this one. There it is. Yeah, put it right there. Right next to the car dealership. Because I guess, you know, it just kind of feels like it would make a little bit of sense. Toyota, Ford. And actually, it kind of feels weird to put, you know, multiple car dealerships next to each other, but that's usually a thing in real life. Like, in real life, you know, there's usually, like, just a row of, like, multiple... Wow, I had a voice crack there. A row of, like, multiple car dealerships in a row, so... Which I don't really understand. I feel like that would be bad for competition, or, well, yeah, I guess competition. But, what do I know? I don't know anything about cars selling. And then also I'm going to put a gas station in here. Now, which one is the major question? I think I'm going to go with the Shell gas station. And speaking of gas stations, let's go put some in some other spots in the city. I think I'm going to put one right here. Nice little quaint spot for it. And then I want to put one right here in downtown somewhere. Probably right here, actually, next to this car park. This underground car park. Let's use this one. Boom. And yeah, alright. That building should get deleted on its own. Alright, yeah, that should be good. Alright. And then I think I'm just gonna fill out the rest of this space with... Oh yeah, it's already zoned, that's right. So yeah, it's just gonna kind of be filled out with other businesses and whatnot, and I feel like it should work out well, hopefully. And then also let's put a road here. Boom. Because, you know, gotta make sure it's all clean and whatnot. And D-zone you. Alright, and now let's start working on this little tiny park here. So what I want to do, first things first, I want to have a bicycle path coming back behind all of these houses, and it's going to lead straight into the park. So do that, and I'm going to kind of act as a little crossing point. And there we go. And where else should we? We should have one also running this way. It's not going to be a super large park or like super organized or anything like that, but I definitely want it to be an enjoyable kind of place to be, I guess. And that kind of connects perfectly into going over here, so that's pretty awesome actually. And let's see. We have one more. Maybe have one come right in between these two buildings. That actually should work fairly well. Shoot. The grid's being kind of wonky here, so I'm not really sure. I guess let's just go offhand. And there we go. Yeah. Alright, yeah, that works actually. That works just fine. And in that case, I'm gonna just kind of make this turn a little bit tighter in. And that should be good. Alright, yeah. I think all of that works out fairly well. And then the backside of these buildings are kind of gross, obviously, so I'm gonna cover them up with trees. Because, you know, it's what happens at a park, or, you know, in an area like this. I feel like it's kind of the logical move to make. Then I suppose over here, I'm just kind of going to do this, have a little alleyway, and then right here is going to be high density. I think that's a good way to separate it, to be honest. I think that'll all work quite well, to be completely honest with you guys. Alright, and now to begin the tree placing process. Alright guys, so I think that is about it for all the tree placing and whatnot, but that's also going to be about it for this episode. So yeah, it's been an awesome episode. Hope you guys are enjoying the season so far, and it's going really well, and I'm super happy about it. I don't know, this city's so cool, and I'm putting such an emphasis on detail that I never did before, because, like, I don't know, I've seen so many other YouTubers do it, and it just turns out amazingly whenever you really put a lot of detail into it. And I just never felt like I had the patience to do it, but I don't know, I think it's working out so far. But yeah guys, so if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like on it, and if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that as well. But yeah, it's really late here. I'm real tired, so I'm gonna get some sleep. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and yeah, I'm the ZZman 2000, and I will see you guys next time.